This is Canadian Stacker. I'm here with my friend Ron after his purchase earlier today. We're on the long drive home as we don't live in the Ottawa region. We have about a 2-hour drive to get home. So Ron, after your purchase today there, did you learn anything? Did you find out anything that you didn't know from before? How comfortable did you feel about your meeting today?
Well, starting with the information you brought to the table, you definitely brought me a wealth of information. The gentleman we just dealt with, he too also brought a wealth of information, actually possibly for both of us a little bit, but the exchange of information is very powerful. He had a wonderful selection of choices, though for me I was not looking for a product that is beautiful and has all kinds of bells and whistles to it. The silver is what I'm looking for, though I did buy a little gold as well, one piece of gold.
I like gold myself. Like he said to you there, the smaller bars, they have a little bit more of a premium on them. But like he said, if you're going to use it to sell it to someone and the price goes up, it's harder to sell, but also barterability down the road. It's kind of hard to break a 1 ounce gold round into loaves of bread, like I was commenting in the video there. So definitely that 5 gram bar was a good pickup. I have a couple of those myself. I bought them because they were more in my price range of purchasing. Because like he said, like $2,700 to $2,800, it's a fair chunk of change to drop down on that particular coin. So and once again, like you were saying, you picked up the vast majority of yours in low markup silver bars. You picked up 5s and you picked up some 10s. What's your goal in your new stacking adventure? You've been doing purchases for a little under a year now. What's your long-term outtake on where you want to go with your stacking adventure?
Well, I'm looking at history and where we live right now, and things are going sideways. If the monetary system does away with fiat, the silver still has its value, and it's still tradable, barterable, one way or another. The cross-section of stuff that I have now gives me options when I'm doing barter. I've got smaller denominations to deal with smaller things that I need to buy. If an opportunity like what has happened after the war and back in '82 when people needed to get rid of property for various reasons, the bigger denominations, it would be easier to purchase something using it. But worst case scenario, I can always downsize it later to a more portable size.
Well, one thing that these people that are listening to the video today need to understand is that you've already purchased a large quantity of 1 ounce rounds. Like your first purchase was 1 ounce rounds.
Yep.
So that you've got your more barterable pieces, right?
Up front. Now I'm looking at the larger denominations to be able to have for larger purchases only.
Would you be okay with me just discussing from a point of view, because you're a little bit older than myself? You don't have any problem with me discussing the age difference?
No.
So as a gentleman in his 60s, you have a vast world view difference than I do, because I didn't grow up in the 70s. I wasn't born yet, and you went through that time when the price of silver spiked up to $50. You lived through that whole period, of inflation in the 70s and how things went crazy back then before they changed over to the current fiat system. Do you have any experience from back then, of how the dollar basically eroded away before your eyes in the 70s and 80s?
Well, that's the interesting thing. Back then, I have been pretty much ignorant about it, just like everybody else, or most everybody else. We just lived our lives, pretended things were on the up and up, not knowing that in fact it wasn't. And since the excuse the way I'm going to say it, but the scamdemic occurred, and has caused me to do a complete reevaluation of my life, my position, and what the potential future is going to hold. And this is where sure, you can have $100,000 of fiat money, but if the government in a heartbeat, which has been known to happen in the past, decides to devalue it and say, okay, you've got two choices. Bring us all you have and we will exchange it for the new currency, or what you have will turn to toilet paper, just like they did a number of years back with the $1,000 bills here in Canada.
They did our $500 dollar bills last year too.
Yep.
They took those away from us, and now there's talk of the new central bank digital currencies coming out, and the forfeiture of our physical paper, and the inability to trade privately will be gone. And I agree with you. I think the only way that we keep any semblance of our own personal privacy is going to be by barterability in our own physical labors, or barterability with like precious metals. I truly feel that we're going into that time where we're going to find out that digital currencies are going to be worse, I think, than paper ever was. At least with paper, you had some privacy out of the deal. You know, like the things about money that make it special, like gold and silver, is they're fungible, they're durable, and they maintain value over a long period of time. You know, like paper currencies, they sort of have that. They're fungible, and they are durable to a certain degree, but the value, you know, like it's a hidden tax. You pay a certain percentage in inflation every year of your life. You know, the Canadian and American governments try to stay around 2%, but they've now lost control of that. And Canada tries to say that it was like, I think they said 6.8% last year, 6.2% the year before, but they don't include things like rent and fuel and food. And instead they go with homeowner equivalent rent and the price of purchasing steel and other commodities that the average person, you know, like wouldn't go out and buy. You know, like do you really give a care about how much a steel I-beam costs today, or a loaf of bread? Like, what's more relevant to you as a person?
Well, that's the thing. Worst case scenario, they devalue my money, and like they did during the trucker convoy, they turned people's money off, which meant now they can't buy even a bottle of water to drink. They can't buy food. They can't buy anything. The silver will always give me that ability in the future to be able to barter, hence the various denominations, so that I have sizes that are easily swappable for food to fill my stomach.
Yeah, something about the trucker convoy that I found interesting. I was in the trucker convoy, as you know. When I was driving down, I'm not sure if I told you this or not, but on my way down, we all got forced off at the Arnprior exit near your workplace. And when we came there, I saw something really interesting when we were being pulled off on the off-ramp that I don't think a lot of other truck drivers really noticed, but I did. I'm not sure if you've ever gone through customs. Like, you're a truck driver, you go through customs on a regular basis, right?
Yep.
Well, you know those pre-read things that the American government has where they can read your ID right in your car? They have those like scanners for the easy passes and stuff.
Yep.
They had one of those set up so that they could read your digital driver's license or your passport or your cards. So all the truck drivers that were coming in there that had their easy passes or their fast pass or all that, they were literally uptaking your information as you drove off the road. I paid attention when I was coming off, and I saw they had one of these over the road. And I looked into the OPP cruiser, and sure enough, there was a computer system set up on his passenger seat. Yep. And when I pulled up, not my information, because I couldn't tell, but I knew that it was scanning information through that machine as I pulled up. And he asked me when I got off, you know, why am I here? And obviously I was, you know, at that time I was leading 10 of the trucks from the company I work for from up by Pembroke, Ontario. I was leading the convoy down in my personal vehicle as the pace car. And the guy asked me basically what was going on, you know, and you know, me being a compliant, good citizen, I just basically told him that I was here with the convoy because I don't want to lie because they're looking for any excuse. And I said that I was leading 10 of my fellow truckers down, and he basically told me where I was going to go park, and they bottled us up in Arnprior, and they wouldn't let us leave. They literally took everyone off the road there and then forced you to go park in a big empty field. And then when the time was to come down to Ottawa, they literally made it difficult for people to leave. I'm not sure if you were aware of that at the time or not.
Oh, I was aware of it. I heard all about it. But the thing is that having your plates scanned puts you into a system that they know you were there, and now they're going to have a target on your back without you even realizing it. And each individual that was there that got scanned, it's pretty bad when you have to watch your back because your government could potentially pull some fast thing on you that you really should never have happen. But again, that's where gold and silver comes in.
Absolutely. So full circle on that, right?
Yep.
So like I was saying with that machine, right? What's to stop the government with the CBDCs come out from knowing where you are at all times, and now your banking information isn't a private ledger held by a bank, but becomes a public ledger owned by the government. And the government, let's say that they want to use the RCMP to set up one of these booths.
Yep.
They can scan you coming on and off the highway, and if they don't like the way you're doing things or whatever, they can literally shut off your stuff like they did the truck drivers. Like many truck drivers and supporters had their bank accounts turned off because the government ordered the banks to give them the information. This will take it one step further where they are the bank, and no matter what, they have the information and access without a proper due process of some kind and public openness. And now that this CBDC is coming forward, and it's going to be just as bad as now, but worse, because they're going to have even more power. And that way, and it gets rid of cash. So like we were saying there, it's going to make precious metals even more valuable. Yep. Yes.
That's where the 15-minute cities are coming in too.
Yeah,
because it all comes together, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we could do a whole other video on the 15-minute cities. We'll just stick on the topic.
But barterability is all comes down to, because your neighbor has something, some food or something, and you need it. Now you've got something to barter with. Because your money, in a heartbeat that's digital, they decide if you are allowed to buy it or not. Yeah. So with the actual...
Well, they can also limit the quantity too. Like if you want 10 cans of beans, they can say, well, you can only have 3.
Yep. But you can get other stuff and you barter can for can. Or if there's stuff they have that you want that you can't have nothing to barter with, now you can barter with silver. And they'll have some silver, and everybody's going to start using silver as the currency of the new currency, period.
So back to this age gap that I was discussing with you. You've been an international traveler for a long time, correct?
Nah, not that much, but enough. Well,
like at least the last 15 years or so, yeah?
Yeah.
Like myself, I've been a truck driver for 24 years. And, I've been driving since before 9/11. Okay, like I've been driving since 97, I think. And the difference between the cross-border experience then and now, like you've been driving long enough to remember when you could get into the U.S. with just your passport. I mean, not your passport, just your driver's license.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because now I'm in a predicament that, now this is another topic, but it's something that you have to consider.
But this all goes into the CBDCs and the movability of money, right?
Yeah, but the jab is all part of that CBDC as well, because the thing is, they can turn off your ability to buy anything because you weren't jabbed.
Well, you're 100% true. The province of Quebec, for example.
I'm not. I won't.
Yeah, well, I had the problem in Quebec. You probably didn't have this problem, but the Quebec government regulated things so hard during the COVID crisis. And, I understand that the YouTube algorithms don't overly like that word. I'm going to use it because, well, it is what it is. And in the province of Quebec where I live, the government literally made it impossible for you to buy liquor from the SIQ or the LCBO or liquor company, and you were unable to purchase it unless you had the poke. And the same thing with going to restaurants. You couldn't go into a restaurant. I'm a truck driver. I need to eat. I'm over the road 14 days, and then I'm home for like 2. How do I bring a certain amount of food, obviously, so do you in the truck, but you need to kind of like have a nice meal every now and again. And I was being refused to come into truck stops in Quebec, and I was being refused to eat in restaurants in Quebec. It was so bad, I had to bring a portable toilet. The government regulated my life so bad that I had to use a portable toilet in my transport truck because I couldn't even use a bathroom.
Yep.
So, like I said, full circle, you know, you come back to this, the CBDCs are going to be all of what we've discussed and more, right? Like, they'll set you as a second-class citizen.
Which we became because we didn't.
Like Joseph Stalin, you know who he is, right?
Yep.
Now, would you not think that the CBDC would be a Joseph Stalin wet dream?
Well, don't you
like
think
the control.
That what's going on is that kind of control that has been from the Second World War?
I agree, but I'm just saying, like Joseph Stalin, with the amount of measures that they're going to put on our financial system, right? Like, wouldn't you think that Joseph Stalin would have loved to have that kind of control over his own country?
Oh, totally.
Like, I'm just saying, like, he can literally control every ruble down to where it goes, like everything. You know, he knows we're talking about like communist stuff here. Like, a CBDC is communist money, right?
Yep.
Like, I'm not using this word lightly here in any way, but you know, like let's be real. Like, when the government controls the aspect of everything that involves the financial system, then does that not become what we didn't want to have forced in our life back from then?
Well, the system is something you need to understand. As I was speaking with you earlier, a simple video called The Money Masters, you can find it on the internet, I think it's on YouTube, gives you a complete understanding of bartering from its initial start, where you did a couple of notches on a stick because I did something, and then another couple of notches on the other side, and we exchanged notches on the stick as bartering.
And then that went from that to seashells, and then salt, and then they wound up going into gold, and silver became the first physical hard monies. So, you know, like that's a great video. You know, I think I'd recommend anybody to watch that.
It gives you an understanding of barterability, and that it brings in where silver and gold has played its part over the centuries, and now it's never more important to have some, because if you can't access your money because the government says so,
it's not money
what
anymore.
do you do?
But it's not money anymore at that point.
What do you do with your fiat currency, or should I call it toilet paper? Because that's all it is, because it won't be available to be used anymore.
Well, when it goes to digital, it won't even be valuable as toilet paper.
Nope. Try and scrape your arse with a digital thing. Good luck.
Yeah. But anyways, you know, like, I really hope you enjoyed your time today, you know, going down and meeting my coin dealer down in Ottawa, you know, and, you know, like, I hope that we can make another trip down together and go make another purchase in the near future.
Well, I definitely, he's a super nice guy. He's knowledgeable. He knows the stuff. He's very concerned about it when he's dealing with you. And knowledge is everything.
What did you think about his Sigma machine that I had him bring to show you verification?
Oh, that was a pretty cool machine. Did a really good job, quick and instantly.
Yeah, it's a little bit better than my my scale and my magnet test and all that I do, and my ping test. But I didn't get to show you the ping test though, the app that you can use on your phone.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I have that as well, and a couple of wooden pegs that hold it in place, and then you tap it with a plastic tube that I have, and it makes a vibration. And then my cell phone, which I was recording on, will see the vibration, and it'll tell you whether it's genuine silver or genuine gold or not based on how it sounds.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, I'll make another video of that sometime. We'll get it put on your phone so that I can use mine, and we'll use yours to videotape a demonstration on how to use that product.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Totally.
Yeah. But all right, well that's it for today. You know, like, I hope that you all find value in this. If you do, I'd really like it if you could subscribe, click the like button. You know, just to let the algorithm know that you appreciate the content. You know, and leave a comment if you leave a comment. You know, like, I'll read it, or Ron might read it, and maybe we'll make a comment. Well, for sure, click the like button on your comment, because we try to read every single comment in the video section. But you know, as for now, it's been a great time, and have yourself a wonderful day, Canadian stacker. Until next time, have a good day.